The Marcus Rashford saga. If you watch football or if you support Barcelona or Manchester United, you would know Marcus Rashford is currently on loan at Barcelona. And there is a whole saga of should he stay or should he go? This is my take on it. First of all, we need to understand something. We need to understand one thing. Barcelona is going through a financial crisis. And Rashford has one of the craziest contracts ever. I think it's on like 400 or 300k per week. So when you deep that, you now realize that Barcelona doesn't have the funds for that. Barcelona doesn't have the money to be paying that, and obviously he has agreed to reduce his salary. But even with him agreeing to reduce his salary, legally, like in the whole how let's explain this, in La Liga, you're not allowed to cut your own salary below 50%, which is actually the main reason why we never got to renew Messi because we cannot cut more than 50%. So 50%, let's say it's 400k. I'm not really sure on this figure, by the way, but if it's 400k, 50% is 200k. Do we think Barcelona can be dropping that every week for a player who is not going to start? And do I think it? Why am I saying it's not going to start? I'm going to discuss that later on. But do we think Barcelona can deal with that? Honestly, I don't think so. Barcelona has spent a lot of time, like in the past, splashing a lot of money on players, and now I feel like they have learned their lesson, and that's why, like, you see, they're more conservative with the way they spend money and everything like that. Second reason, which which a lot of people are saying, and I'll give this one straight and direct. The stats. He has impressive stats. That is one thing that is honestly there, like to understand that he has good stats. He has more than 20 goals and assists. And as a backup winger, more than 20 goals and assists is actually good enough. Like when I'm by good enough, it is good enough for you to be in any team. And for 30 million on top of that, 30 or 25, I think they are trying to negotiate it down to 25. But for that amount, that's actually incredible for Barcelona. But at the same time, the third reason, which I feel like is the only reason why I feel like we should not sign him, is simply put it straight and direct. Does he fit the system? Now, before I address that, let me now put something into you guys' mind. The reason why I hate Bartomeu so much and why I also love him because he taught me something. Bartomeu made me understand that signing the biggest names or spending the biggest amount of money won't get you anything. It won't get you anywhere. Like, you are not getting anywhere by spending the biggest amount of money. Imagine spending 250 million on two attacking midfielders or cams, people who free roam in the middle when you have Messi. You have to understand that that is the role of Coutinho and Griezmann in every team they have played with. Which one is everything? They have only played for two teams specifically. Griezmann and Coutinho in Liverpool, in what is all this team? In Atletico Madrid. Watch them. They never stayed in a corner. They were always free roaming. Now imagine putting that in a system where you have Messi. Like it was such a dumb transfer. Now keep that in mind. Now to Rashford. How does Barcelona play? When under Hansi Flick, we play in a way that overloads the midfield while having a wide player. That's why we usually have one inside forward and one right winger for and one outside winger. It's not every time that is right winger or left winger for our wingers. But with Rashford, he's not playing as an inside forward, and it limits us so much. What am I talking about? Let's put it as simple as this. Whenever Yamal is with the ball, you would see Femi Lopez or Rafinha making a run inside. Or whenever Balde or Cancelo is with the ball, you see Rafinha, Femi Lopez, Olmo making runs down. You see on the edge of the box, you could have Olmo, you could have Ferran Torres, you could have Lewandowski on the edge of the box, and then you have someone overlapping. That is three options. Literally three options for the player, for the one winger. And that's why a lot of people say that, oh, it's Yamal FC because everything goes through Yamal. Think of it. If those options weren't there, do you think Yamal will succeed well? Do you think he will constantly do as well as he is doing now? He won't. He literally won't. Like it's simple football. He literally won't. And that's why you see him, he receives the ball. He has this option, that option, this option, that option. And Yamal can dribble. Yamal can shoot. Yamal can score. But with Rashford, the ball goes out to Yamal. Rashford is bringing down one less option. And then before you know it's only two options in the middle. And you could say, okay, why can't the midfielder take form of that third option? If you want the midfielder to form of that third option, who will be back? If there's a counter or a turnover, who is back? Because you see people like Pedro and De Jong, or Pedro and Gavi, or Pedro and Bernal, and they are always the late option. Like they are never the immediate attacking option. Please ignore the rain in the background. They are never the immediate and attacking option. They are always the late option that is there. That's why, like, when De Jong came back from his injury, what happened? Yamal caught inside. Was it Yamal? I can't really remember who made the pass. Yes, it was Yamal. Was it? I'm not sure who made that pass, but the game where De Jong came back, where he made an assist for Rashford, someone cuts inside, passes it. De Jong was so late. Like De Jong was not the first or the second runner. De Jong was like he was so late. It was so deep when the original pass was made. So now he could easily mark streets because of everybody's trying to defend the runners. Now, with so many runners and so many people at the edge of the box, it's hard for the opposition team to break us down. Not to break us down, but like to know who to follow. Imagine Yamal is with the ball. You are trying to defend him. A counter attack. Rafinha is running. Fermin is running. Pedri is coming in short to receive the ball. And Lewandowski is like on the edge of the box. What are you meant to do? Like, how are you meant to do? Because of you want to deploy multiple players on Yamal. But with Rashford, he wants the ball to foot. He wants to be out wide, controlling the ball and trying to create. And also, Rashford has been playing with very low confidence. So you consider all these things. That's why I'm saying that Rashford has so many good numbers, but does he actually fit the system? Like we speak so much, oh Rashford is good, Rashford is good, Rashford is good. I'm not arguing on is Rashford good or not. Does he fit the system? That is the real question we all need to ask ourselves. Does Marcus Rashford fit Barcelona's system? Specifically the system that Hansi Flick is playing. Does he fit it? I've watched so many games where Rashford will be so wide. The options are dying. We don't have any other options that is like, oh, this player can make the shot, this player can do this player can do that. Rashford is wide, and then you get the ball to Rashford, expecting, okay, if Rashford is not going to give us options, at least Rashford should make an attempt at creating. But Rashford has been so low confidence so many times this game, where he's literally not taking on his man and he's just standing there, just literally doing nothing. And like, we all, like, that's why I hate stats merchants so much. We are all looking at the stats of Rashford, we are all looking at the price tag, but at the same time, there are so many times where it doesn't fit the system, where it doesn't make sense for him to be in the team. That's why I just feel like at the end of the day, it's more about the system. My final note slash statement is, should we sign Rashford? Personally, yes. As much as I can say it doesn't fit the system, give him another season, and the Flick will be able to bend him through the system and make him work better on the system. You get me? I feel like if he has another season with the Flick, he'll be able to work better on the system. And I don't see a reason why we should spend an extra amount of money on other players, because let's look at the options. Anthony Gordon for 60 million. Would Anthony Gordon come in and be 2 times better than Rashford? I'm not saying Anthony Gordon is not better than Rashford. I'm not saying he is. But is he going to be 2 times better than Rashford for us to spend 2 times the money on him? Victor Munoz is a Real Madrid graduate. I don't think he would want to leave, like, betray Real Madrid and come to Barcelona, as of the fact that he is coming from Real Madrid Academy. Who else? Andrew Schroeder. He played in Benfica. I'm not really conversant with his game. These are the players that are rumored to Barcelona. And for the money and the quality, I feel like at the end of the day, Rashford is the best option. Though he's not the option that like is the best option for our current situation. Though I don't feel like he fits our system enough for us to be slotting or slash bending our house over for him. I don't know if you get me. But yeah, that's been it.